What's going on, guys? Welcome back to a brand new video. Sorry about the lighting, it is sundown at the minute and it is also very warm. Welcome back to another video. I know I've not been posting in quite a bit, but I'm back and I'm posting again. So today's video we're going to be doing a tier list on, I think, all of the Star Wars projects. I'll have to double check, but hopefully this is a very good video for you. Just to let you all know, I'm not a super, I don't know everything about Star Wars. I don't know if anyone does, except maybe George Lucas, who knows. But I don't know everything, so not everything is going to be exactly perfect. So, take it with a pinch of salt. It's all my opinion. You might have very different opinions or very similar opinions, but who knows? And let's get on with the video. Now, starting off with Star Wars Episode 4, A New Hope, the first ever one. I have to say, it is absolutely amazing. I'm not going to put it in S tier, but just because, out of the enjoyment I have of all the films and things like that, it's not my favourite, but I am a very big fan anyway. So without further ado, I will put it in A, just because, childhood memories and everything. I didn't watch this one that much, so it's not a bad film, it's not the best film, but going to the best film, in my personal opinion, lots of people say Episode 3. Now, depends what day it is, but my personal favourite is Empire Strikes Back. It's my comfort film whenever I I'm feeling down or I'm feeling happy, whatever. I go and watch this. It's absolutely amazing. I love Hoth. I love literally everything about this film. I don't really see anything wrong with it. It's got literally one of the most amazing plot twists in cinema history. Luke, I am your father, which is absolutely amazing. No one really knew about it at all. When I was a kid, I wasn't born back then, but it was also absolutely crazy when I watched it for the first time, which is why it's in S tier. Nothing wrong with it. I can't floor it. Someone else might be able to, but again, my opinion. Now, going on to Return of the Jedi. Now, I think I watched this a lot when I was growing up. It was like one of the movies that I put on. I went to after school club and they had the VHS of this. I always tried taking it home with me. Wasn't allowed. Who would have thunk? But I absolutely love this film. I love all of it really. It's a great film. I will put it just above Episode 4, just because I don't think it's right up at the top. We've got a lot of projects to get through today, so I'm going to conserve my S tiers for once. I'm very generous on Letterboxd if you go and look at on there, but today I will put it just above Episode 4. Now, that is the original trilogy, all done and dusted. I'd say one of the best trilogies of all time. You can't floor it, I don't think. Ties up Luke's story right there. And now we're going into his father's story, which is, Anakin Skywalker, Episode 1, 2, and 3. Episode 1 is, I think it's got to be B tier for me. I'm a big fan of all the dialogue. I've always been a Jar Jar fan. I've never seen the hate for him. I can kind of understand it, why some people might find him annoying or anything, but I always found it was really funny when I was a kid. And of course the battle between Obi-Wan, Darth Maul, Qui-Gon. I think it was absolutely amazing. Very sad as well. I think Qui-Gon is such a great character, and through Tales of the Jedi, I feel that it was great having his story keep on going on that, which was really good to see. Again, the hate for Jake Lloyd, he was only 9, I think, and in my opinion he did a fantastic job, but that's where I'm putting episode 1 for now. But let's move on to episode 2, which I'm going to put it just above. I'm going to be doing this pretty much the whole time, but whenever I wanted to go to sleep, I'd always put this on, just because, again, it's a really good comfort film, but I feel like there are quite a few flaws. The dialogue in it, I know that's one of the main things about the prequels, but, it's a good comfort film, but then it is also, you'll find, if you're watching it, you're like, that was a bit cringy, why did he say that, Anakin's Riz is not very good, but, he'll have to work on that one, but, can't floor that one. But another one that I can't floor is episode 3, just behind episode 5 in my opinion. If you catch me on any other day, I'd swap it around, but I have seen this in cinemas a couple of times in the past year, I'd say, when it got re-released last year and this year for its 20th anniversary. Happens to be my 20th birthday in a couple of months as well, but it is crazy that it's 20 years old. It's absolutely amazing. The fall of Anakin Skywalker, the rise of Darth Vader, Mustafar, the big fight there, the fight at the very start. I watched it in 4DX. I was being thrown out of my seat at the end of it. I'll have to keep on sitting back up. It was crazy, but again, a very, very good film. If I want to sit down, I'm not gonna pick at it or anything. Just sit down, enjoy it. I've always enjoyed it with my nan, with my mum. They're the people that got me into Star Wars. I've got a bunch of Empire Strikes Back signatures back there as well. Need to upgrade the collection. Let me know if you want to see that though. Sorry about the sun again. But yeah, so that is, episodes 1 to 6 all done. Looking pretty even at the minute, but I'd say it's probably about to change. So we have episode 7, which can be flawed. Lots of people can, dislike it. Lots of people do really like it as well, but I have to say, I did enjoy episode 7, first Star Wars film in 15 years. Just the atmosphere of going to the cinema and watching it, it was amazing. But growing up, I think, and seeing how it was, I do like it, but I'm gonna have to put it at C. I don't really rewatch it. I think I've watched it maybe once or twice in the past, 10 years now. Yeah, 10 years since that came out. So 10 years since the last film, sorry. But yeah, it's not a bad film at all. Out of the 3, I'm gonna spoil these next ones for you. I have to say it is probably the best. I don't know how many people will agree with me, but we'll go 7, 8, 9, and then I'll do Rogue One and Solo. So on to episode 8. Now, I do enjoy the part where Kylo Ren's like more, right at the end, but he's a hologram, like Luke's a hologram. I did enjoy that, but it was also like there were lots of times where I found that Luke wasn't how we thought he would be. you know, you look back at episodes 4, 5, 6, and you're like, you know, where's the Luke from those films? But you know, that's how Disney decided to portray him. Gonna have to go D. It, again, not the worst, not the best, but you know, still very enjoyable. Can't really say anything. You know, when it was in cinemas, I feel like most people are like that, where they enjoy it in cinemas, but maybe not afterwards. But yeah, again, I don't think I've really rewatched it. Well in need for another rewatch. Going in for episode 9 now. I think in this one I came out of the cinema feeling quite, you know, disappointed. It wasn't what I thought it would be, the ending to it. I think some of the parts are a bit far-fetched. Some of the characters being, you know, taking on certain names. But again, if you like these films, you know, all to you. I'm not going to start like, no, these films are better than these, because it's everyone's opinion, you know. But I do think it'll have to go F. It's not one of my favourites. I don't think it ever will be. You know, if someone can come over here and tell me why it's the best, please do. But F, which might get me some hate, but oh well, my opinion again. Now on to Rogue One, which in my opinion, out of everything, it is the best film out of all the Star Wars films. I'm not saying it's the best Star Wars film, but it is the best film. The cinematography, the actors, especially rewatching it after Andor Season 2. Don't know if you've seen it. I put a reaction video of the trailer up a couple months ago. But Season 2 was amazing, and it makes everything in this so much better. So it's going to have to go S. Some people might not agree, but I don't know where else I could put it. You know, I enjoy it so much more than, you know, episode 6 and episode 4, and just the visuals, and you can sit back and enjoy it and not think about anything, and it's perfect. You know, I think it's quite a bit different from Solo, where there's quite a few things that you can flaw about it, but it's again a comfort film, similar to, I think that's going to be sort of my B tier. So I might just put it below episodes 1 and 2. I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed seeing Han Solo's upbringing, seeing Kira, seeing Darth Maul. That was absolutely amazing. Saw it in cinemas. I think I was about to like run round. It was amazing seeing him there. Seeing Lando as well. Lots of people didn't like the casting. I really enjoyed it. And I don't know. It's just a good film to, you know, fall asleep to, or just to show someone if they don't want to see, you know, like lightsabers and all this. But Solo, what a good film. Now, going to Mandalorian Season 1. So we are splitting it up. This is what drew a bunch of people back during COVID, you know, through Disney Plus, just came out. Just, you know, I think Season 1, there was one episode that was okay. The rest of it I really, really enjoyed. I can't say anything wrong with it. It's basically, I'd say, perfect. Season 1, very, very good. You know, all the characters, the ending, the finale, seeing the Darksaber, like, again. Now Season 2, I think either on par with it or just below. Just because I feel like there were a few more filler episodes than there were in season 1. I really enjoyed the character development. All the stories inside of it felt really, really good. So I would have to say top of A tier. Very good. Seeing all the new Mandalorians, we got Boba Fett, we got, Koska, we got Bo-Katan back. That was amazing. Axe Woves as well. I don't know if I've said this before. He's my favourite Mandalorian from the Mandalorian TV series. I got a tweet off of him. I've got his action figure. I need to get his helmet though. But just seeing all of them, I thought was really, really cool. Especially in the first introduction episode with them all in, was amazing. But going back to Mandalorian, this is season 3 now. I think this is where we saw some problems, where there were lots of filler episodes. We saw Jack Black and Lizzo. I didn't see much point. Christopher Lloyd was great to see, but not much point again. We saw Axe Woves in that episode. It was great to see him again, but the episode wasn't great. I think they rushed the ending as well. It seemed they jumped into a cave to, get out of everyone's way, and then it was like, oh, time's up, everyone out. Which I didn't really like, just because, we've been waiting for, this final thing, and then that was it. But I did really like them growing the army and having, the cruiser up in the air. I thought it was really good. But I would have to say, I think just below episode 1, just for the fact that there were some really good parts, but also the bad parts brought it down by quite a lot. So I don't think I can just skip out on those. Now, one series that I think every single Star Wars fan was really wanting, but they just didn't deliver, was Obi-Wan Kenobi. First thing, you don't really hook someone in by saying the whole name, like just Kenobi, sorted. There were some amazing parts, seeing, the Darth Vader, grabbing people by the Force, by their necks, pulling Obi-Wan into fire, getting his revenge, Obi-Wan finding out that Darth Vader's actually still alive, which, I'd never really thought about. But also, Reva, she wasn't that great. I don't think her character was developed enough. It seemed like she was bunny hopping from story to story to story. And then the Inquisitors, when they showed the Grand Inquisitor, I think my brother said, oh, he's dead, because I've seen Rebels. I was like, no, he's not, of course he isn't. But it was like, well, what's the point in that? And then they didn't really use the other 2 Inquisitors really, when they were trying to get out of Fortress Inquisitorius. Again, how does that make sense? You can see 4 legs under a massive trench coat in like the highest level of security possible. I don't think it makes any sense. Like, I don't know. I was really excited for it. It had a massive budget, and I feel like they just wasted it, which, quite sad for a lot of Star Wars fans. But, there were some good parts, but also some pretty bad parts. So I think I'll have to put it just above Last Jedi. I can't get fully behind it. Someone try and, boost me up. Tell me why it needs to be, on the same level as, Empire Strikes Back, and I'll listen, but you'll have to do that first. Again, another one, ups and downs, really highs, really lows, Book of Boba Fett. I was really excited to see this. I was with one of my mates, and we'd always come back each week and say, "Oh, you're watching it? Hell yeah," But some of the best episodes weren't even Boba Fett. Mando in between season 2 and season 3. That was insane. Seeing him go into that butcher shop and literally butcher them was insane. Him having the dark saber and finding out how to use it, also how not to use it, was really good. But then you see space Vespers in bright reds and blues, and then it's well, it doesn't really fit in. I felt like a lot of the stuff that I was trying to get in front of, you also couldn't. It was well, I don't really enjoy it as much as I wanted to, so I will have to put that, I think, just behind Obi-Wan Kenobi. This should have been absolutely amazing, seeing Boba Fett in action once again, but they just didn't deliver how Star Wars fans wanted to, which again is really, really hard to watch. But now going on to a massive high, Andor. Now I'm going to put them together, season 1 and season 2. I don't think it matters. It's going to be going just in front of I'm putting it in front of Rogue One. It's amazing. I think the first few episodes of season 1 were they were trailing off a bit. It was not a fan. And then it got to the middle where you get the Aldhani heist, and then you get when Andor's mum dies, and then the funeral scene. I don't know about anyone else, but I loved that scene. It was absolutely amazing. I've rewatched it so many times. That alone got it to S tier, and then they just built on that in season 2. I think the idea of doing 3 episode arcs and having those as the time jumps. I don't know if anyone's seen it yet. I'm really sorry if you haven't. But I guess this is your way to get a quick summary from me. But I think that everything that they did in that second season was absolutely amazing. I thought all the character development between everyone was great. Seeing, the first arc, you were like, oh, these are some weird buildings. They kind of look like, a certain planet that we'll see a bit later on. Spoiler, yes, they were. And then you saw the rebels slowly going up. I did kind of want to see a bit more of Saw Gerrera, but the bit that we did see was really good. Clea, I think she was the highlight of the season, probably just above Mon Mothma. She was amazing. I think she had a small part in season 1. Season 2, she was amazing. I don't know how she did it. I think she's just out of acting school as well. Kind of like Orlando Bloom in Lord of the Rings, but honestly, it was amazing. It deserves to be all the way up there, and no one's telling me otherwise. Now, going on to another series that I think I was really excited for. My impressions of it, I don't think were that bad, was Ahsoka. They should just rename it to Rebels Season 5. Seeing Jason Syndulla was amazing, just because, I think you can see from my wall, I do love Kanan Jarrus. He's my favourite character of all time. Seeing Hera again, the little drops in from all of the different medias. I really enjoyed it, and of course seeing young Ahsoka, her actor was amazing, and Hayden Christensen coming back again, after being in Kenobi, he was in this as well. amazing. Every single scene he was in, you know, all the fighting in the World Between Worlds, just I can't floor it. I think Marek, I really wanted to see a bit more of him, and then of course, you know, Baylan Skoll, rest in peace. His actor is passed away, but the guy that plays, I think it's the Hound, in Game of Thrones, he's now playing him, who's a really close friend, I believe. So for season 2, that should be really, really good. And I think also from Mando and Grogu, that film. Hopefully we might have to do an updated one, but you know, both of them, they were really, really good. I'm really excited for season 2. But you know, I feel like it just has to go top of B, because it wasn't as good as some other bits, but it really did really well for me. I know quite a lot of people that didn't like it, but I feel like this is my sort of thing. You know, there's some kind of shows that are more for others, aren't for me, but this was great. Moving on, we've got The Acolyte, which lots of people disliked. I think I was originally on that bandwagon where, oh, I'm not watching it, it sounds really bad, but I've watched it. I think it's actually quite good, but there are a lot of flaws. You know, I think the cinematography was really good. The fights, the choreography of the fights, they were really good. Kamir, he's a great villain, I think. But then, you know, I think we all know that it is cancelled. There's not going to be another season. But then they decided to put Darth Plagueis in it, put Ki-Adi-Mundi in it, after, you know, him saying there's no Sith for however many years, and then somehow he looks the exact same, or to be fair, he looks a bit older than he does in the original one. You know, they could have at least, you know, maybe put like Plo Koon in or something, at least a race that would last that long. I felt like they were just trying to drop some people in. I'm going to have to, I know I said I did like it, I'm going to have to put it bottom of D. I feel like the bits that I did enjoy didn't outweigh the bad bits. The Wookiee Jedi, I really wanted to see more of him, because again, Gunji, he's one of my favourite Jedis. I want to see more of him, but I thought maybe we'd see a bit more of the Wookiee Jedi, because you don't really see a lot of them. And then, spoiler if you haven't seen it, he just dies, and that's it. You see him in like the old shots, and that's it. Going back onto a good level though, Skeleton Crew, I reckon probably top of C. Jude Law, I think, was really good. All the kids in it, amazing. You know, I think they did a great job with it, making like a treasure hunt kind of run around, like playful, fun TV show that you can watch. And you know, I'm not saying it's perfect, obviously it's right in the middle, but it was just a fun watch, and I've got nothing against that. You know, there are a lot of things that probably could have been done better, a lot of things that could have been really anything, but I thought the way that they did it about their planet and the ending to it was very good. You know, I've got nothing to say about it really. It's just quite average really, but I wasn't really expecting anything from it. I wasn't expecting the worlds from it, but just from this, it was quite good. Now guys, I think that'll, you know, about cut it for today. Done about half of it. Don't want to make the video too long. but I'll make a part 2, and that will come out shortly after this video. I hope you enjoyed. This was mainly the main films and of course the most recent TV shows. I really enjoy sharing my opinion, and I really hope you enjoy it too. If you just drop it down in the comment below. I love reading all your comments. I'll always reply to them, like them, everything. I'd really appreciate it if you put boost the video at all. If you want to watch any of my other videos, you know where to find them. Just click on my little Cody icon in the bottom left. Make sure to hit subscribe, like, and come back for part 2. Thank you very much. See you in the next one.